The whispering walls of Blackwood Manor. Clara inherited Blackwood Manor, a sprawling, isolated estate deep in the English countryside, from a distant relative she'd never known. Intrigued, yet undeniably unnerved by its remote location and the whispered rumors of a grim reputation clinging to its name, she decided to spend a month within its ancient walls, hoping to decide what to do with the large, decaying property. From the moment her car crunched to a halt on the drive, leading up to the looming facade of Blackwood Manor, the house felt profoundly strange. The air seemed heavy, thick with a silence that pressed in on her eardrums. This oppressive stillness was broken only by the mournful sigh of the wind whistling through broken window panes and the deep, unsettling creaks and groans of the old house settling on its foundations, as if in weary resignation. As quiet days gave way to long, shadowed nights, a creeping unease grew into palpable dread as strange, inexplicable occurrences began to punctuate the silence. Whispers, faint and indistinct, seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves as she sat alone in the dusty, cavernous drawing room, their origin frustratingly untraceable. Shadows, long and distorted, flickered at the periphery of her vision, dancing just outside her direct gaze when there was no breeze to stir the heavy drapes, no outside movement to cast shadows. One quiet afternoon, as she was upstairs unpacking, she swore she heard a loud, resonant thud from downstairs and upon investigation, found a large, leather-bound book inexplicably lying open on the library floor, apparently having slid from a high shelf, though with no discernible cause. The unsettling events were escalating. Initially, Clara, a woman of pragmatic disposition, steadfastly dismissed these increasingly bizarre incidents as mere tricks of her overwrought imagination, the inevitable products of an old, drafty house and an unnerving silence preying on her solitude. But as the days passed, the occurrences became not only more frequent, but more alarmingly, purposefully, directed. The whispers had transformed, becoming less like random drafts and more like coherent sounds, almost as if someone, or something, was trying to communicate something important, something frustratingly just beyond the threshold of her conscious understanding. The shadows grew longer, darker, more insistent, seeming to coalesce into fleeting, amorphous shapes that dissolved into nothingness just before she could properly focus her eyes on them, leaving her in a constant state of unsettling, low-grade dread. One particularly bleak afternoon, seeking distraction and perhaps some grounding in the tangible, Clara ventured into the dusty, neglected attic. Whilst cautiously exploring amidst forgotten relics and cobweb-draped furniture, her foot snagged on something uneven beneath a threadbare rug. Pulling back the tattered fabric, she discovered a loose floorboard, slightly raised above the others. Curiosity, an undeniable human trait, overcoming her mounting unease, piqued. With trembling fingers, she carefully pried up the aged board, revealing a shallow, dark recess beneath the floorboards. Within this hidden space was a small, exquisitely crafted wooden box, bound with tarnished brass fittings and faintly smelling of smoky cedarwood. Inside the box, nestled on faded velvet lining, were two